Hello, once again, it's the Stars and Holy City, the IT guy. So they will answer the question 6 of the Southwest Regional Mock 2K20 ICT paper 2. Let's just dive into it and handle it accordingly. Question 6, Romans 1. In relation to the operation of the processor, what is an interrupt? An interrupt is a signal sent to the processor by a hardware or a software indicating an event that needs immediate attention. Very important. Give an example of a computer interrupt. I will give two because we have two types. We have this hardware interrupt and the software interrupt. When we talk of a hardware interrupt, is when you are pressing a key on a keyboard or when you are moving your mouse. So as these things are hardware, so they are just called hardware interrupts. When you do these things, signals are sent to the processor and telling, hey, processor, there are some tasks that needs to be executed. The processor now will immediately execute these tasks that have been sent to him, not stopping the other tasks that he is processing, but executing these new tasks immediately. We know our computers today are multitasking. With the software, it's just when software interrupt is just when you want to read or write on your hard disk. And that's called a software interrupt. The same process will be followed. That's the interrupt. The signals will be sent to the processor to execute the task immediately. I'm no longer slave to. Okay, the B part of it. Define the term machine cycle. A machine cycle is the process by which a computer CPU executes a single program instruction. So whenever you send an instruction, a single program for that instruction to be executed from start to end is called a machine cycle, and it is made up of stages. There are so many stages there, about 3 to 4, which will answer our question C, that describe the stages of the machine cycle. We have normally the fetch, the decode, and the execute, these 3 stages, but the 4th one will be added, which is the store, because whenever I do these things like that, you need to store. So with the first stage, this paradigm here called the register has all the address locations of the instructions to be executed by the CPU. So this control unit will come and ask him that which is the next instruction to be executed by the CPU. The register now will check in his address storage and find the address of the next instruction. So it will now go, which is the first stage called the fetch. It will now go and fetch for that instruction in the RAM and carries it and comes and stores it in the register. This register is the fastest memory found in the computer, basically in the CPU. When it does this, now this control unit, this other paradigm here called the control unit, will come and collect that instruction and decode it. Decoding it means that it puts it in binary form and asks it that try to understand what operation is to be performed on that instruction. Is it addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, or Boolean expressions like true, false, on, off? When it will succeed in decoding the instruction, it will now send it to this other last paradigm here called the ALU for execution, which is the step 3. The ALU now stands for arithmetic and logic unit. If the instruction says that addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, you perform the arithmetical operation. If it deals with Boolean, true, false, on, off, high, low, will be the logical operation. At the end, the information now will be sent for storage back into the RAM. That's why this is the 4th step. The step 4. Okay, let's go to the D part of it. What is the function of data bus in the processor? Okay, let's first of all know what is a bus before defining a data bus. Just look at a bus like a route, like a road or a route connecting one region to another or connecting one state to another, or connecting one quarter to another. Is the road that you walk on, that cars move on, that you pedestrians move on. So it's a passage, it's a path. That's what we call a bus in computer sciences. So a data bus is specifically for data. Whenever a data wants to move, it will only move on data bus, not on the address bus, because you also have an address bus which carries with the address. But for the data, it moves only on the data bus. So the data bus carries data from the I/O devices to and fro the RAM and to and fro the processor. That is why it is known as bi-directional. All is only there to transport data from the I/O devices to the RAM, from the RAM to the data bus, and vice versa. Okay. Romans 2. Files can be stored serially or sequentially on a magnetic tape. A. Distinguish between serial file organization and sequential file organization on a tape. Oh, very nice question. It makes me to remember the past when we were still using this type of cassettes. We used to call this one deck cassette, in quotes, in pidgin, deck cassette. This fat cassette like this. But today, those who are born in this the 2000s, you have never seen this type of things. This is what we were using in our own days. So we call this one the audio tape cassette, and we call it one the video tape cassette for video home systems. These are all. This is what we call the magnetic tape. Then it's different from what you know today, the magnetic disc. Two different things. So this question is talking about these two here. So for serial file organization and sequential file organization, to distinguish between them, serial organization arranges record in any order. Yeah, so here records are arranged in any order in a chakra in quotes manner, in a chakra manner. Meanwhile, sequentially organized files are sorted or arranged in descending or in ascending order based on a key field. So there's a key field that will arrange the records here in an ascending or a descending order, which means they are well arranged. So as a result of this one to be disorganized, it takes a very long time for you to locate a file or a record. Meanwhile, with this, it takes a shorter time to search for a file or a record. Okay, B. Explain how a new record will be added in serially organized tape and sequentially organized tape. Let's consider this first, the serially organized tape, the chakra one. In serial files, records are entered in the order of their creation. When you look at this, the records here are entered in the order of their creation. Like if I delete this Peter, for example, here is the first one, Romeo, 2, Zion, 3, Antonio. If you want to enter a new record here, it will be 4. And I write Peter. So we have seen how we enter records here. As such, the file is unordered here, is unordered because you see here R, Z, A, P. It's unordered and at the best in chronological order. So here the best organization here, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have the chronological order here, but the files here are unordered because it's neither in ascending or descending order. For the sequentially organized tape, sequential files are stored and sorted in an ascending or descending on a particular key field. Our key field here will be the name. So let me just show you what happens in Word. Let me just copy this in and put in Word. Copy, I'll paste it in Word. Let me open a new document. Let me paste it here. Good. Let me just enter a new record here. 5. Musa or Musi. I put Musi there. So this is what will happen. The data will be sorted now. Sort by name. Type text in ascending order. Good. Then I have the file sorted in ascending order. I have Anthony, we have Musi, we have Musi, I have Peter, I have Romeo, I have Zion. So from A to Z, we can still sort in descending order. Now it starts with Z, R, P, M, A. So that's what happens sequentially. Okay, A, describe two structures that are used to store data in a magnetic disk. Okay, when we're talking of a magnetic disk here, we're talking about this, our hard disk drive. How do you store data in this hard disk drive? Normally, you have to know that it first of all uses the sequential organization, because with the sequential organization of files, they are sorted in ascending or descending order, speed up operation. With this one, you will realize that even when you are playing your music on your computer, you can easily select, double click on a song on a music, and directly it starts playing because of that organization. But with this type of cassette here, if a track is the fourth and you start playing this type of cassette, if you want the fourth track, you have to stop and forward. It will forward. You forward and you stop it and play it and see if it's there or not. If it's not there or not, you forward again. If it goes more than the track, you rewind. But with this type of magnetic disk, whenever you just want a track, you just click or double click on the track number or name, automatically it starts playing. So here, a file system. I'll base my answer here on file system. So on file system, which comes with the operating system of the computer. A file system provides a way of organizing a disk or drive. It specifies how data is stored on the drive and what type of information can be attached to the file. That is the file name, the permission, and other attributes. Windows supports 3 different file systems. We have the NTFS, is the most popular and the most modern file system. We have the FAT32, an older system that is the predecessor of the NTFS and does not support big feature set. You have the XFAT or the extended FAT, which is a modern replacement of the FAT32. So I would just like you to go online and try to read on this file system to understand their differences, or let me just take you there. If you see here the FAT32 and the NTFS file organization, which are used in storing data in this our magnetic disk, you have a compatibility with the type of operating systems that are compatible, the size, volume, the maximum volume size for both the maximum file size, cluster size, fault tolerance, conversion, and compression. These things are necessary to know, because in storing data in this system, you need to understand the different file formats. But an important point to note here is that it stores the file in an organized way. It's very organized manner of storing. So thanks for listening. If you have any comments, you can post it. I will reply to your comment. Make sure you subscribe and you like the channel for more videos. God bless you guys.